It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to talk about a video from McWafflingBitz. So it'll be linked in the description. It is the 5 best design killer perks in Dead by Daylight. And I'm going to be discussing mainly my thoughts on the perks and kind of give my opinion on what I think. Which right off the bat, we're starting off very strong with Corrupt Intervention. And I gotta say, Corrupt Intervention is one of my personal favorite perks in the game. I think that objectively, one of the best perks that you can have, especially when you are using a setup killer, when you are using any killer that requires you to have a very slow start, which I would say like Myers, Ghostface, Nemesis, I mean, you name it, right? Anybody who needs time to kind of get that early game, perfect for them. And especially characters like Myers and Ghostface probably being at number 1 on my list for what that would be, right? In my opinion, I would say probably the best, most important, I would say, in my opinion, mainly because of the fact that it does require you to kind of wait it out and run toward the center of the map if you are playing Survivor. So that, in my opinion, is what makes it so powerful, and it really helps out quite a bit. Gives you that early game start that you desperately need as those characters. And if you are playing in any level of play, we're talking like the casual, average, you know, high level, whatever have you, it's always going to be very effective for you. It's always going to be very good. And I have to say, like, it's great. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever had a bad time with Corrupt, but that's my take on it, honestly. You can let me know what you think in the comments about Corrupt, but I think it's probably one of my number 1 favorite perks in the game. Like 9 times out of 10, if I was picking any perk, I would probably pick that perk. I think that would be pretty great, to be honest. Okay, so it seems like the next perk that's on the list is No Way Out. So I gotta say, yeah, No Way Out is a very good perk. Overall, I would say very well designed. I would say very good. Just for anybody who's playing the character, right? Playing any character, really. It definitely helps out. And definitely a lot of characters that focus like a lot on, especially Pyramid Head, who focuses on being able to sort of circumvent a lot of the hooks by using cages and stuff like that. I have to say, No Way Out is fantastic. Also helps you kind of get like that early well, that sort of end game sort of pressure that you can have. You can pair with a lot of end game perks. Overall rewards you for actually like sort of playing the 4 hook game, as you could say, or the 8 hook, or whatever you call it. I forgot. Is it 12 hook? Playing the game, you could arguably fairly, well, you know, put in quotation marks, like fairly, allows you to at least have that option, and allows you to overall, I would say, be able to help out with a lot of things, right? And the end game, especially. We already know, because you already know you have to basically get 1 hook per token. So, you know, and we already know with the gen speed we have nowadays, almost a requirement in some builds, almost a requirement for Pig even. And it's just good to have it, you know what I mean? We already know that it takes about 16 seconds to open a gate, just base kit. So at least being able to slow that down does mean that they're going to have to shift their focus to do something else. So I think that overall, pretty good. I gotta say, a fantastic perk for slowdown, a fantastic, just great perk. Absolutely well designed. I mean, it does exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't have any issues, and it rewards you for the 1 hooks, which we already see a lot of perks that do that. You already know are all focused around getting those 1 hooks. So that's my take on it, I think. Oh, okay, so the next perk is Forever Entwined. I believe Forever Entwined is another one of my number 1 favorite perks in the game, and I actually do pair it with Fire Up because it does stack slightly. From what I've heard, though, it actually does not completely stack, in the sense that it actually does have a cap for how fast you can pick up survivors. But I still say it is probably one of my favorite builds to combine with Brutal Strength, Fire Up, I will also use Bamboozle, you know what I mean? So Fire Up is sort of the core. You can boot, and then with Forever Entwined, I'm boosting up pickup speed. With Brutal Strength, I'm boosting up braking speeds. With Bamboozle, I'm boosting up vaulting speed. So then, like, I create like this unique build that can boost all aspects of my killer, and I become the super killer in a sense. You know, it's like I just boost up every other stat that I have in like this really fun RPG sort of way, where I got like every boost on to make me as efficient as possible. And it's very fun for me personally, and I enjoy it a lot, especially as somebody who focuses a lot on my chases. I'd say that is one of my number one picks. I would have to say it for just playing killers, and I would say mainly even my M1s. You already know Freddy, Ghostface, Myers, and stuff like that. I'm going to use those perks together because it's just so much fun. I have to say, and and then he brings up save the best for last. I honestly save the best for last, I would say, is a perk that I've had a love-hate relationship with, because it used to be one of my number one favorite perks in the game, I would say, to use on characters like Deathslinger or other characters that can really fully utilize it. I would not say it's very good on a character like Ghostface at all, mainly because you are taking one hit to down if you are marking. So if you're focusing on using your power, if you're focusing on M1ing, you know, once usually, or if you're trying to like kind of do a bit of a hit and run, quote unquote, you do end up getting a lot less value than you would if you were to just like use it on a different killer that is very focused on a lot of M1ing, which could be like Clown, for example. I think Freddy is also a very good option, considering that they're very similar to Clown in a lot. He's very similar to Clown in a lot of ways. But yeah, like obviously with the nerfs, like, you know, now it just really just affected a lot of killers very, very negatively. So a lot of characters are able to lose a lot of tokens just for simply just landing a shot. Like if you're playing Deathslinger, if you land your shot, it'll just take 2 tokens, and then if you hit them, it'll take 2 more tokens. Or if you're playing Trickster, I don't know if they still have this, but you'll just lose a bunch of tokens just because the blades are even connecting to them, which is not great. So that is a bit unfortunate, I would say, in terms of the sort of save the best for last. You know, rest in peace, OG, save the best. You know what I mean? It used to be very good. It used to be very strong for what it was able to do, and it did aid a lot of the weaker killers. But ever since it got changed, I think it's definitely lost a lot of its power, especially because you could even use it on Pig, which would, if you use ambush, it wouldn't count against you, and then you can actually just do a lot for you, which was nice, I would have to say. And it's unfortunate, you know what I mean, but it's still pretty good. We do see it in a couple of builds nowadays, especially with the addition of the like sort of Springtrap perk combined with the machine learning, so you can get like the increased swing speeds, and the haste by I think they reduced it to like about 7% or something, I forget. But you know, which rest in peace machine learning as well, man. I think machine learning, man, rest in peace. Old machine learning was great. I swear. Like, I gotta say, I can talk about machine learning even as well. It's so sad what happened to my favorite perk. Like, I used to love it, but ever since they reduced the timer on it, it really reduced a lot of the pressure that I was able to apply with it. And then I just kind of slowly put it back on the shelf to never be used again, and until obviously the recent Springtrap perk that got added. So a bit unfortunate. I used to love that perk, honestly. But I'm curious to see what else is on the list here. Ah, yes. So Thrilling Tremors was another perk that was mentioned in the video. And Thrilling Tremors, I would say, I would have to disagree to an extent. Probably one of the worst perks, I would say, in the game, in my opinion. I would have to say, like, one of the worst perks that I think that they've added, in my opinion, when it first dropped, because you were getting a map-wide block to untouched generators, giving you sort of a barbecue and chili effect. But instead of giving you their, you know, sort of direct information, you're only getting the you're only just going to be getting the block that lasts for however long it does. until you let go of the survivor. So biggest issue with that, I would have to say, was mainly the fact that it is just not super powerful, just not great, mainly because of the fact that like it doesn't even really block the gens that they are working on, which is mainly what you would want to slow the game down, but also that it didn't last very long. And mind you, the cooldown was at least a minute, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it really required you to get a full down, and then which can vary depending on your killer choice. Like, some killers can struggle getting downs in the first place, so not great for those guys, you know. Which, mind you, Ghostface is this, like, who has this perk when you purchase him. So a character like Ghostface, who struggles to have map pressure, that struggles to do anything with, comes with a perk like this. Now, mind you, I'm speaking specifically about the pre-buff, what do you call it? Thrilling Tremors. I know there was a couple of Thrilling and Tremors enjoyers in the community as well. So shout out to you guys who do enjoy the perk. You know, this is not a diss to anybody who enjoys it. I was just saying that there's just other perks that just do what it does just a little bit better. So it's a bit unfortunate. Now, they did change it so the cooldown is much shorter. I think it's about 30 seconds now. And you're able to at least be able to get the perk to activate pretty consistently, I would say, in between hooks. Just judging by chase time and, you know, things of that nature. So that's great. I'm glad that they buffed it. It's one of the perks that should have already just come with a 30-second cooldown or less. But better late than never, I gotta say. So that's great for us. And I will say that it is kind of useful if you do pair it with Dead Man Switch. And if, you know, pre-rework Freddy would have definitely had a field day with this, with the old class photo add-on, because when you were teleporting, it actually sort of gave you a the blood would actually pour out of all the gens at once, so it would actually make it harder to figure out where you were teleporting to. And because they changed that, obviously, you know, now it's less so, unfortunately. So, you know, it is what it is. But I would say I do agree that the perk is pretty well designed now. Maybe not at the start, but it's better now, you know, so we love to see that. But yeah, I gotta say, man, those are my thoughts on the perks being selected in this video. If you want to watch the original video, it is linked in the description, so you can go ahead and watch that, man. Here are the takes on the perks that aren't mine, you know. Hear those takes too, and kind of see, like, you know, let both of us know if you want, you know, drop a comment on both of our videos here and let us know what you guys think of the perks. Are these the best designed perks? What perks do you think are well designed in DVD for the killers? Let me know in the comments, man. While you're down there, support the channel with the links. Consider becoming a member or joining the Patreon for exclusive content and other perks. And with that being said, man, check out the Twitch as well. I play Killer live on YouTube and Twitch. I'll see you guys in the next video.